Hello again, 102ers. Hopefully this is the second video you've watched so far, because that introductory video, which was listed first in the announcement, will help you get ready for the semester. Now, if this is the first video that you're watching, stop it right now and go watch the intro. No, seriously. It will make life so much easier. Please go do it. Oh, good, you're back. Before we jump into it, I have a very important announcement to make, and yes, I'm actually being serious this time. These videos are not meant to be a full lecture of the material. I will not record myself droning on for 80 minutes to discuss the material that you're supposed to cover. These videos are meant to be a quick introduction to the material, a bit of guidance where I see that students from the past get confused, and a bit of explanation of what's coming up. I hope to never have any videos close to 20 minutes in length, although it does happen. These are meant to get you moving forward. Now, if you have any questions about the material, either for the video or for the week, please reach out and ask. Do not feel that I'm going to give you crap because you don't understand something. No, 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 no. Please feel free to reach out and ask any questions you want. Because everyone's heard there are no stupid questions. I disagree. The only stupid questions are the ones that you're too afraid to ask, and they end up going unanswered. Answering questions is quite literally my job description. So please don't just assume that you know what's going on. Verify you know what's going on. Okay? Okay. Now that we're through all that, let's jump in. The intro video launched you through what this page is and where everything should be. So just glance to the right and look at the masterclass schedule over here. Click on the link. It's the first week. The first week's material is going to be right up top. Convenient, isn't it? Now, before we do this, however, this is what your announcement's going to look like. So you're going to see here that I'm going to introduce, the week. I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing this week, what we're going to be doing next week. I got a little bit of razzle-dazzle up here, and then I give you the video to watch. Underneath the video, now the first week's video obviously has, the introduction, and then it's got the week 1 video. Most of the weeks are going to have a single video, and then what I've done is I broke it down into video chapter listings. So if you don't want to hear most of my crap, you figure out exactly what you need to see most, and you click on it. So for example, the debatable topics list, very important, we talk about the what makes a debatable thesis or academic topic right here. Clicking on that will take you right to the YouTube chapter, okay? Underneath that, these are the things that you need to read and review for the week, okay? The Getting Started folder is right there, and everything inside of it is kind of like the syllabus and what you expect for the semester. Then we have the weekly readings, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. And then I do have a third YouTube video on how to select an appropriate topic for your semester. Yes, it's damn near 30 minutes, but it's incredibly helpful, especially if you're not quite sure what makes for a good topic, okay? I do not have a chapter listing for that. I'm sorry, but, you can go through it. All right. Underneath that, the complete, I want you to look at the debatable topics list. Figure out what you're going to try to talk about this for the semester. Create a contact in your mobile device that includes my name, my email, my Google Voice number, and even my Zoom meeting for student hours. That would be great too. All this information is found on that instruction and information page that I showed you on the first video. Then I also have a page here setting up your Brightspace profile and customizing notifications, which I did mention at length in that introductory video, but this one just happens to be a text version of it, okay? So you can look at that too. Down here, the assignments. As you can see, they'll be due by January 19th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, we will be sitting there looking at you submitting these things at midnight that night with an Eagles victory in our past. That'll be fantastic, wouldn't it? But you'll have to take the academic integrity quiz, and it must be taken or else you will be dropped from the class. Read this first. It's a 1-page sheet. It's very easy. And then you've got a discussion board, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, going back to Unit 1 here, there are 5 things to look at. We have a video over here, the debatable topics list. We have the quiz, which I'd like you to take. And we have the discussion board. Wow, my brain locked up here. So let's start out with what an exploratory research essay is. That way you know exactly why you have to get a good topic. This is an exploratory research essay. You are introduced to the concept of the exploratory research essay. Duh, right? Now, you can read through all of this at your leisure, but I think I might be able to help you grasp the basics. At this point, many of you have written a lot of papers in your academic careers. Unfortunately, many of you have also been given a topic, told to find 1 or 2 sources, and then vomit that information back onto the page for a very bored, very lazy teacher to look at and say, yeah, that's what I expected to see, you're good. There's no real thought or actual process to the writing. It's simply the exercise of checking off a few basics. This, friends, is not that. We start off with selecting a topic. It must be debatable, okay? It must be academic and debatable. It means it must have at least 2 sides to it. It does not have to be binary. It does not have to be this or that. It can be a variety of answers. But the topic must have an argument to it, okay? You can't just say, well, cancer sucks. No kidding. Find me one person that's going to disagree with you. You can't. So you can't write a paper on why cancer sucks. However, you can write a paper on the increased price of medical drugs and how that is causing personal bankruptcies in the United States and why we need the government to step in and limit the amount of profit certain organizations can make on that. Okay, that's indeed an argument. Okay, great. So, once you choose that topic, you'll be doing research to support that, right? After you do that, you're going to be actually exploring the topic and figuring out in which direction your thesis should go. Why exploring? Because that shows your train of thought. That shows what you value and what you consider important. It's not just, I have to write a paper on the history of basketball in North America. You now have to understand the nuances and causes and effects of that topic. You will do that through directed research and an open mind. Now, as you can see, they've simplified this process for us. It starts with the topic, and then we are trying to kind of figure out what that topic is going to be. So we have to completely think about questions to direct us. We have to formulate that research question. So figure out which direction we're going, what our emotional attachments are to the idea. Writing about prison reform is fine. It's great. It's dandy. But where's the argument? Why do you care so much about it? Once you figure that out, you can start to look into the articles and websites that will provide you a much clearer picture of what your thoughts might actually be. Search articles and research studies. Once you do that, you can start to summarize and evaluate these sources to figure out, was this a good source? Was this an effective source? Or was it kind of weak? Was it biased? Did it make no sense? Did it have any support to it? What sort of information was out there? Okay, what did the article actually say? Determine how well that these articles answered the question that you asked. If you're talking about prison reform and you think that rehabilitative aspects of prison reform are much more important than the punitive aspects, does your research question get answered in these sources? Because if it doesn't, you might either have to find new sources or figure out a new question. Okay? And then, of course, the end is refine, rethink, and rework. So, that's it. Okay? Now, before you're assigned the paper itself, I will give you a proper directions and sample package for you to digest. So don't worry, I won't let you drown. Until then, however, you can always look at the rest of this page and dive into the college-provided sample paper down here. all the way down. As you can see, it's really only going to be 1 plus 4 plus 1. It's probably going to be 6, 7, 8 paragraphs because I add a little bit to this. So here is the sample paper that you can look through here and go through the Google Slides. Or you can just download the full essay right here in either a Word document or a PDF. Either one works, okay? Going back here, you'll see that they want you to use databases to start your ideas. And for some reason, somebody has a massive crush on CREDO. Personally, I can't stand CREDO. I find it to be overly and needlessly complicated. If it's something that you're comfortable with, then hey, by all means, go for it. It's really not difficult to use because it's a search engine, much like any other search engine you've ever used. Now, to be fair, they have cleaned it up a bit, but there's still a ton of material to sort through. It's not the best place for to search for topics, but you can at least see what sort of concepts are out there through its Explore Related Concepts mapping feature, which I can show you. So here's all the stuff here. Explore Related Concepts right here, okay? Now, in order to get to CREDO, you can click on this link right here, or you can go back to your main page, find Student Success Toolbox, click on Library, and then right here, first one under Databases is CREDO Reference. So as you can see here, there's a bunch of different subjects you can browse. Like, let's say we're going to go into education, okay? We click on education, and let's go for the easy one. H, and we look for homework. We click on homework, and then we can see all sorts of different topics that come up and figure out, oh, well, we want to talk about final examinations, or the hell is Mother 1? I don't know. So we click on that, and that automatically redoes the Explore Related Concepts. And we go back to homework, and then we can click on Study Guide, and we go back and forth. Now, like I said, CREDO is what it is. I don't like it. Personally, I would recommend going down here to SIRS. Clicking on that will bring you to this page. Now, you can do all sorts of things, like you can see trending topics. These are the topics that are most popular. And clicking on this, and you can keep going through to find out exactly what most people are looking up and interacting with. The editor's picks are the ones that the people who run the site think are your best bets right now for most up-to-date information. I like it. So if we go and we click on, again, let's go school schedule, just for the hell of it. You know, you can see it's a leading issue page. It will tell you the full summary of what it's all about. And then you can come down here and see the different viewpoints and, hey, you know what? We have this or we have that. And it's giving you a few different sources that you can use. Equally, it's going to give you a couple of starter questions to take a look at, as well as an editorial cartoon. And there is a lovely timeline here that you can click View Full Timeline and scroll straight through. SIRS is a much better place to go because it does really take into account the fact that it's a little bit more graphically simplistic, okay? So you can follow along without being lost. Anyway, I would say if you want to look for topics, CREDO is there, but SIRS ProQuest is your best bet. So, I mentioned that you'll be finding a topic, right? Well, in what makes an argumentative thesis statement, there you go, this kind of tells you exactly what you need to see. We start to figure out the parameters of those directions. Now, it's not a fantastic explanation. That's why this video, that's what the video is for. But, the video that I made for you that's 30 minutes long, that will help you greatly. I should have taken better notes before I recorded this. Anyway, but it's not necessarily a bad page here because it does hit all the high points. Make sure your chosen topic is debatable. Junk food is bad for your health. It's not debatable. Everybody knows that. But because junk food is bad for your health, the size of sodas offered at fast food restaurants should be regulated by the federal government. Now you're saying that you want the government to come into McDonald's with you. Okay, that's an argument. It's got to be assertive. Federal immigration law is a tough issue, which many people disagree. No kidding, you're not telling me anything. Federal immigration should be overhauled because it's too hard on the state and local police. Okay, that's something that you're now stating an opinion. Remember, cancer sucks. No kidding. Nobody's going to disagree with that. Tell me what sucks about it and what needs to be done about it, okay? It's got to be reasonable. City council members stink and should be thrown in jail. So-and-so made fun of me on Facebook and should be thrown off. No, that's not reasonable. That's a whine. That's a rant. You need something better. City council members should be term limited to prevent one group or party from maintaining control indefinitely. That is a solid, reasonable statement. It's got to be evidence-based. Individuals convicted of murder will go to hell when they die. Well, guess what? Doesn't matter what you believe, my friends. It's what you can prove, okay? You will hear me say this several times this semester. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you feel. I don't care what you believe. I care what you can prove. And whether you are Jewish or Muslim or Christian or Catholic, or atheist or Scientologist or Satanist or Jedi, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It cares what you can prove. So, prove to me what's going to happen with prison reform and murderers, okay? It's got to be focused. I want to write a paper on the ocean. Well, guess what? The ocean covers 76% of the planet. That's a really wide topic. Can you narrow it down a little bit, okay? That's the key. Stages of debate and topic selection. This is a really good page. Don't get me wrong. It's probably my favorite page of the semester because I've come to find out that the person who wrote it is incredibly well-spoken and it really, really puts a lot of thought into what she writes. The unfortunate part of this page is it tends to run off at the fingers, and it's a long one. There's a lot of great material here to it. Absolutely, positively. I am not knocking it one bit, except for the fact that it's just really serious, really detailed, okay? So, what can I help you with here? Well, first, I want you to focus on the following ideas. How are you going to express yourself in the paper? What sort of thesis are you going to put together, and how are you going to get to start your research with the questions that you choose? So that would be these two blocks right here, okay? Then down here, we have to understand that not all arguments are built the same. Now, by clicking on these accordion boxes right here, you're going to see how arguments are more than just no and yes. Those are called binary arguments. Is it raining? Yes. Is it raining? No. I mean, there's really no other answer to that, okay? However, are we arguing that something is or is not? So, being or definition, does it exist or not? Is it real or not? That's a really good one, okay? Who controls the narrative, right? Who are the experts? How did they achieve their expertise? How did an event or series of events cause something to happen? What are the results of these events? Even though good and bad are inherent opinionated ideas, how do we discern between what is socially acceptable and what is not? How does this change? And of course, my favorite, there's a big problem here. How would you fix it? Why is it a problem? Honestly, the best part of this page is the end here, okay? And that's not a slight. Don't look at things in a binary way. Go beyond the pro-con. Go beyond two-sided positions. They have to be mediated or nuanced, okay? Figure out the gray while everyone else is focusing on the black and white. Now, did you know that if you flip a coin, there are 3 possible results? Seriously. Everyone focuses on heads or tails. But once in an amazingly great while, that coin might actually land on its edge. Just because it's not common doesn't mean it's impossible, folks. Remember that. Now, before we get deeper into this, I want to tell you what topics you cannot do for my class, okay? Yes, there is, this is also talked about in the topic selection video, so I feel that repeating it here is very important because some of you may not watch that video or this video. I don't want you to be able to say, well, I didn't know. Well, now you have it in 2 places, okay? Anyway, after close to 20 years of teaching this class, I have a small list of topics that are problems. I will never assign a failing grade because I disagree with your findings, but you will not do well if you cannot support those findings. And that's where the issue comes in. So, what topics are on my no-fly list? I gotta tell you, there are some topics that I just hate. There are some topics I hate so much, well, just don't do them. What are they? Well, abortion is still on the list if you're writing about why those who have them are going to hell. But over the last few years, something very groundbreaking happened in this country. Roe versus Wade was repealed. And I had a few students discuss abortion from a legal standpoint rather than a faith-based standpoint. I'll accept that again, but if you allow your religion to seep into your argument, then it ceases to become a legal discussion. Not everyone has your faith. There are Christians, there are Jews, there are Muslims, there are Hindus, there are atheists. Not everyone believes the same thing. It's the same basic principle if you want to write about same-sex unions. You're talking about faith more than anything. It's got nothing to do with it. Don't do it. Another topic I cannot stand is college athletes should be paid. Boring. I have seen every permutation of that topic, and while I think student athletes work very hard, I'm tired of reading the exact same paper in the exact same way with the exact same sources. There's nothing new there. There's also newer legislation that is providing these athletes some money for likenesses and naming rights and advertisement. So the argument is fading away, thank God. Another overdone topic? Legalize drugs, man. Most likely weed. Please. Please don't do that. Please, God, don't write that paper. Every time I see that paper, it only gets worse. Seriously. I know each and every source you're going to give me. They're all terrible. Don't do it. If the only reason that you're going to write that paper is because you want to feel better about yourself sparking one up in the backyard, that's not a good reason to write a paper. Childhood obesity is another bad topic, but it's not because it's not a good topic. It's just so terribly boring. I've read so many papers on fat kids needing to lose weight that I can tell you exactly how you're going to write the paper, how you're going to start the paper, how you're going to continue the paper, what sources you're going to use, and how you're going to conclude it. There's no surprises there. Vaccines are another one. Why? They are scientifically and medically incontrovertible. They don't cause autism. The only garbage that you'll bring up comes from mommy blogs and conspiracy websites. Don't waste your time or mine. Parenting styles and how one is better than another is another awful topic. It's pure opinion with very little actual proof beyond personal experience. I've seen this topic far too many times, and every single time it was attempted, it was awful. Please, no. Social media is bad. No kidding. It's also opinion and incredibly vague. If you insist on this avenue of thought, at least take the next logical step and focus solely on cyberbullying. That has meat on its bones. But social media is bad is just far too open a topic, and it's completely unprovable to the extent that you need. Almost done. Gun control. Not one person can write dispassionately about this topic. Trust me. You're either a gun owner, well, or multiple guns, and you hate that people want you to give them up, or you are fervently anti-gun and start throwing around insults to those who do own guns. Either way, it's not a good place to start, so don't do any of those topics, okay? Oh, by the way, yeah, the Earth is flat and global warming doesn't exist? No. If you propose either of these, you aren't paying attention to the thousands of years of human history and scientific achievements. You ignore science and geologic facts. If you ignore all of that, you cannot be taken seriously. You will absolutely fail the paper. Period. Again, you can go to CREDO. You can go back here and click on the SIRS database, which I showed you. You can even go into here and click on the Debatable Topics list, which is gorgeous. That's because I and some of my colleagues put it together. The original list was absolutely awful, but we managed to burn it to the ground and rebuild this work of art from its ashes. If you can't find a topic here, you're not paying attention. That being said, you're so much more creative than this. So you can always look through here and see which ones kind of get you thinking. We give you so many different ones that you can look at. Okay? Look at all these. They're wonderful. Okay? I'd love for you to come up with one on your own, but if all else fails, use this one. Okay? All right. So, that helps. We're almost done reviewing the material. Let's just jump back to understanding plagiarism. There it is. You need to look through this because your quiz is literally based on this document. I hate to be so dismissive in reviewing it, but plagiarism is exactly what you think it is. Academic theft and or cheating. I can sum up this entire page by saying this. Do your own work. If you copy and paste, you're cheating. If you get someone to write your paper for you, you're cheating. If you're reusing old papers, you're cheating. If you are getting generative AI to create all or part of your paper for you to save you time and effort, you are cheating. Please just do your own work because plagiarism is using someone else's work and not giving them the proper credit. Okay, good. So here's the video about the selecting an appropriate topic. It's another long one. Here's Debatable Topics list again. And then here are the two assignments that you need to do by Sunday at 11:59:59. The first one here is the Academic Integrity Quiz. So read the document, Understanding Plagiarism. Here are the college's statements on academic honesty and academic integrity if you want to look through it. And then when you're ready, you go down here and you'll click a button that will appear for you that says Start Quiz, okay? You have all the time in the world to do this. Do not rush through it. Answer the questions in complete sentences, please. Okay? There are scenarios in there. There is a pledge at the end which you have to fill out. So please make sure that you go through it. Then, of course, we have the discussion topic, the topic board, discussion board on the topic. Woo! There we go. I've used a version of this for longer than I can remember. So it is a discussion board where I want you to explain your ideas in a bit of detail. You post an initial thread right down here by clicking Start a New Thread, just like I did here. I have a sample that you can look at. There you go. See? Do not reply to the sample, please. Every semester, somebody tries. Please do not do that. But it tells you exactly what I want you to do. It tells you exactly how long it's going to look like, okay? It shouldn't be that long. So once you do that, you must return and post on 2 of your peers' posts to explain what you like or don't like about their topic. Do not give me good job or that sucks. This is a writing class. Give me some understanding of why you like it or don't like it. And that's the week, kids. Hopefully this wasn't as painful as you had feared. It is a long one, though. Couple that with the chapter listings at the bottom when I'm finished, and you should be able to kind of glide through this video pretty quickly. Plan ahead, email me when you need me, and I'll be looking forward to seeing your topics by next Sunday. Have a great week and stay safe. See ya.